Azure storage services. This is also the important service. These are the storage account type we having. So we having the general purpose V1 account, we having the general purpose V2 account, and we having the Blob storage. So these are the various types of account we have. So in the V1, these options are available: Blob, files, queue, and tables. And V2, these are the options are available. In Blob storage, we having only blob, are we having the pen blob. So these are the options on the part of the storage account. And if you're looking at what are the Azure storage offering we have, so we having these various offering. The first one and the most popular one we having here, Blob storage. So in the Blob storage is recommended to store our unstructured data, like we having files, PDF, audio, video, are to store the large files as well. It is recommended to use the Blob storage. Even we can store the page and blob. So there are two types of blob here, page blob and the blob. So when it is coming to the virtual machine hard disk, so this hard disk is going to store as a page blob, because in the operating system we having the concept of paging. But when it is coming to the storing any file, let's say audio, video, the PDF, so that is going to store as a blob. Then we having here the queue. So queue is here to implement the MSM queue style for communicating between the application component. If you need a queue which is going to help you to initiate the communication between two application component, like between two services, it can be done with the help of queue. So it is a simplified way to implement the communication between the two services in your application. The next one we having here, file share. If you're willing to share the content across the virtual machine, or you can say if you're willing to create a shared drive in the cloud. So how you can create the shared drive using the file share option. So it is having the support for the legacy input output operation and the SMB protocol. So as we copy the data in a local machine from one directory to another directory, and as we delete them, similar way you will have in the file share as well. The next we having the disk. So disk obviously we use with the virtual machine. So disk we can have a premium disk where we can perform the high input output operation. So this is going to be used at the virtual machine level. So apart from the virtual machine level, we cannot use it. It should be connected to a VM. We having here table. So table is going to store the data in the NoSQL format. In the NoSQL, we don't have the SQL schema as we having in the SQL Server, as we having in the RDBMS. Here, things can be decided on the fly. So one record can have 3 fields, the another record can have 5 fields. So this is the benefit you will find out of NoSQL. And here the things are going to be stored as a key value pair. It is fine to store a smaller data, but if you're looking for a store a bigger data, so table storage is not recommended. You should use Cosmos DB. So Cosmos DB is the recommended style if you're willing to manage your data in NoSQL format. So if you're looking at here, mainly we use this Blob storage here when it is coming to storage. Other things, let's say queue, this is alternative. Available service bus is the alternative over there. File share you can use for creating a shared drive. Disk obviously we use whenever we are getting the virtual machine. Tables, alternatives available, Cosmos DB. This is the way how the REST API endpoint you will get it here. So now let me create the storage account and try to find out where these options are available. So what I can do, I'm just going to create a resource. So as a resource, I'm just going to create here the storage account. Now here, do select the resource group where you will keep this storage account. So let's say I'm using here DNTRG as a resource group. Define the storage account name. It is, let's say, DNT storage. So this is my storage account name, DNT storage. Let's say 101. Now define the location, let's say West India, South India. What are the location you are willing to have? So I'm using here, let's say West India. This is a performance you will have standard and premium. So in case of the standard one, you will have the lowest cost of storing. If you're using the standard, if you're using the premium, you having the higher cost of storing. So based upon the requirement, you can use the standard one or you can use the premium one. And based upon the performance, you will have the option of account kind. This is the account kind. So we having the general purpose account V1, we having general purpose account V2, even I'm having the Blob storage. So one of the option you can select here for the account kind. This is the way. So I'm just using here the V2 option because V2 is now the recommended one. We having V2, V1 and Blob storage. So access tier is supported to V2 and Blob storage, but in V1 access tier is not supported. So I'm using here V2 option. Then we having here replication option. So replication option means how the data is going to be replicated in the Microsoft data center. So what is happening here through the Microsoft Azure portal, we are going to create the virtual machine, we are going to create the storage account, but somewhere they are going to be created. So if you're looking at here, they are going to be created in West India. So West India is a region for Mumbai in India. So in Mumbai, there are multiple data center. There is a, let's say Mumbai region. We having the data center 1, we having the data center 2. So what are the storage account I'm creating here? It will be created inside a data center. So in data center, we having the racks like this way. So let's say inside this rack, this storage account has been created. So for the security purpose, let's say for the data consistency purpose, they replicate the data at more than one places because it's a hardware. So hardware might fail. It happened, let's say one of the rack has been destroyed completely. So do we have any way to recover our data? So for recovery purpose, the replication option has been introduced. So these are the various replication options you have to understand and select them carefully. This account, I'm not getting here JEDR option. You can see I'm getting only 3 because in my case, the location is West India. So in India, we don't have JEDRS option right now. But if I will change it from the US, everywhere it's not available. These are available in few locations. Now can see this is a JEDRS available over there. So when you are selecting the West US 2, that time JEDRS is available. But when I'm selecting the West India, JEDRS is not available. So don't think every facility is available everywhere. No, there are so many features which are not available to a specific reason. So I'm just using here West India is my reason. So now I'm just moving to the networking. So I'm just using here RAGRS so that we can replicate the data to more than one region. So we having the network. So how you're willing to access this storage account? I'm willing to access a storage account from the public endpoint. Public endpoint means I can access it from the internet. If you're willing to make it private, let's say inside only a network, so you can make it private. Even I can mention a public endpoint with selected network. So I can mention over there only from which network the people can access it. So the second option would be over the public endpoint with selected network. So I'm not using the selected network. I'm just going to allow all the network there. And that is a routing preference, Microsoft network routing, internet routing over there. The next option we have been here for data protection. So this is about the recovery. Do you want to enable the soft delete? It is just like we having the recycle bin in our system. So what are the files you delete? They are the part of the recycle bin. If you're willing to restore them, it can be restored. Similarly, we having the soft delete option over there. So soft delete for Blob, soft delete for containers. We having a soft delete for file share. If you're willing to enable the versioning for the Blob, you can enable the versioning as well. So it happens the same picture you're uploading again and again. So do you want to recover the previous version of the file as well? So there the versioning can be used. So I don't need such things, but if you need such thing, you can enable here, and here you can mention the default days for keeping the content over days over there. 7 days is the time interval where it would be the part of the your soft delete. Let's say recycle it. After the 7 days, whatever the files you have deleted, they will delete it completely. The next we having here setting for advanced. So in advanced, we having the setting here, just enable the SSL. Nowadays, SSL is the recommended practice so that the data should be transferred over the SSL in the secure way. So the SSL I have already enabled over there. Or you can say it is by default enabled. If you want to disable the SSL, you can disable, but I'm not recommending it. You should always enable the SSL. Then we having here, do you want to access the Blob storage publicly, like from the internet? Yeah, I want to access. It is enabled here. What access tier you are willing to use, cool or hot? As I said, hot access tier we use when you are going to access the content frequently. Cool access tier you should use whenever you are accessing the content rarely. So you should decide based upon the accessibility of the content. So I'm taking here hot because I access it here frequently. Another here for Azure file, tables and queue, let's leave it as it is. Tagging. So the tagging can define here, let's say the project. I'm just going to use this storage account in project XYZ, and this is the storage account I'm using here for development environment. So this is the tagging also I have mentioned over there. Now let's review all the changes and then create it. So the storage account has been created. Let's go to the storage account. And here you will find out I'm having the containers option. I'm having the file share option. I'm having the tables. I'm having the queue. Actually, containers is the blob storage. If you will open this one, so it is having right now a simple logging container. Let me create my own container where I will store my images. And this is the access label. Do you want to access it publicly, like anyone can access without username and password, let's say without any token? But if you want to make it private, use it private. No one can access without the token, without the permission. So let's say I'm making it this anonymous access to file only, anonymous access to the container as well as file. So the last option is just similar to the directory browsing, because container is like a logical directory. And in that logical directory, you're going to store some files. So file is here blob and directory is here container, simple. So I'm just going to allow the permission to only file, not to the directory, logical directory. I'm just mentioning here blob and then create it. So this is my images folder. Now I can upload few pictures here. Let me upload a picture. So desktop, I'm uploading a picture here. Let's say this is the one. After uploading the picture, I will get the picture public URL. Using that public URL, I can access this picture from anywhere. So this is the URL. Let me use this URL here. And there's a picture which is coming over there. Even you can also access a public URL. Anyone can access. So this is a public URL that anyone can access. But I can change its access label. So you can see this is my access label. If I will change the access label for this picture, so I can change it from public to private. This is the private I just mentioned over there. As soon as I make it private, no one can access it here. If you will try to access it now, it is showing me the specified blob does not exist. It is not allowing me to access. So when it is coming to the security purpose, so what are the options are available? So for security, these options are available. The anonymous one I already explained to you, where anyone can access by knowing the URL. Second option is shared access signature, SES. So we need to create a signature with the help of the storage account keys. In the signature itself, we define the time interval as well, like the validity of the signature. So whenever you are going to access a particular resource, just do mention the signature in the URL. After that, you'll be able to access that particular resource. Then the next option we have been the shared key. So shared key we use whenever we are accessing the things from the program, from the code. Let's say you are just going to have a ASP.NET Core application. In the application, you are willing to, from your application code, you are willing to upload the picture, you are willing to delete the picture, like any file. So their shared key will help us. Azure AD can also be used. So Azure AD will be helpful whenever you are going to provide the permission to another users. So let's say this is my storage account, but I can also provide the access to this storage account to you as well. So what I need to do here at the Azure AD label, I need to add a new user. And what are the user I will add over there? That user can also access my storage account. So let me show you here first of all SES token, how the SES is working. So for the SES token, we having the option this shared access signature. Open the shared access signature. Then we having the key. So there are two keys available, key 1 and key 2. I will tell you about the key later on. Let's look at the key over there. Then this is the expiry date, start date and time, then expiry date and time. Now here I can define the IP address as well. If I'm willing to define the restriction is specific to the IP, like only this IP can use this token. So I can mention the IP restriction also. Then this is the allowed protocol, HTTP or HTTPS only. So let's make it only HTTPS. Now generate the token. Now the token has been generated. So let me copy this token value. Even you can copy the complete URL along with the token. So let me copy the complete URL along with the token. So this is the one. Let me access this using this token. Now it is serving. So now using this SaaS token, anyone can access. Even you can also access it. I'm sharing the token. I share the token in the URL. Just copy the token and try to access. So this is the way how the SaaS token can be used, and as per a requirement, the token can be generated. And if you're looking at here the access keys, you will find out two access keys, key 1 and key 2. So you might be thinking why they having the two keys. Actually, sometimes it happens when we are working in the real life, we are using this key 1 with the production resources. But let's say the same account you're willing to test in the development machine, in the testing machine, to only for testing purpose. And after the testing purpose, I don't want to use the same key. I want to regenerate it here, but I don't want to break the production resources. So what you can do here, the key one you can use with the production resources, and the key two you can use for the testing purpose. When the testing will finish, there is option here to regenerate. This is the option to regenerate. Click on this one, the key would be regenerated. So what are the keys the people already having? That would be useless. So this is for the security purpose. The another case is here, let's say you having a company where you having a policy. After 6 months, you need to change the credential. So let's say initially you get started with key one, but after 6 months you have to regenerate the key because of company audit policy. So what will happen if you will have only one key, and if you will regenerate it, so entire connection will break. So what is the better way to handle it? Just use the key two, and wherever you are using this storage account, start replacing this key to value Alexa connection string, so that the existing application keep running without breaking any change. After 6 months, you can use key one, regenerate the key one, and this way these two keys always help you. Got it? What is the benefit of these two keys? So both the keys having the equal permission, and these keys also going to be used for creating the SES token, as I created the SES token based upon the key one. So the shared key I explained. So in the shared key, you will have two keys over there, key one and key two.